Hey there, this is the One Boom, the most subjective channel on the internet, and today we're going to talk about my least favorite weapons in Warzone, and more specifically Plunder. Now, this extends to Battle Royale as well, but all of the gameplay you're going to see is from Plunder because that's where I've been having the most fun and that's what I've been putting the most time into. So Warzone, which contains Battle Royale and Plunder inside of it, is a whole different way to play Call of Duty. It's an entirely different style of game compared to the rest of Modern Warfare, compared to Ground War, compared to traditional 6v6 or 10v10. And so certain weapons, in my opinion, stand out as being absolutely not worth using just due to how Plunder is played and how differently it's played compared to the rest of the game. But you'll find out how loose my definition of absolutely is later on in this video, because obviously this is not a definitive objective list. These are just weapons I wouldn't recommend using personally. So starting off the list with the Dragunov, I really have trouble justifying using the Dragunov in this game mode, and the reason for that is its recoil. Its recoil and just general lack of accuracy, and the fact that it's going to take 4 shots to take down a fully armored opponent. Landing follow-up shots with the Dragunov is a bit difficult, and maybe it's because I don't have every attachment unlocked for the weapon itself, and so I don't have every recoil mitigating attachment, but in my opinion, I shouldn't have to stack every recoil mitigating attachment onto a weapon in order for it to work well. Especially when the FAL is a much lighter, more customizable weapon and only takes 1 more shot to take down a fully armored opponent. It can be fired much faster, and with the right attachments can be way more controllable and versatile. I would take the FAL into close to long-range engagements, and the Dragunov really only feels good in those longer range engagements. The EBR-14 is also way more customizable, takes 1 extra shot, but again is way more customizable and way more versatile. The Dragunov, because of its fire rate, is not going to be good up close. It's just not going to be. And if I'm going to use a weapon that's only good at longer ranges, then I'm going to use the HDR or the AX50 to deal massive damage to stationary distant targets, because the Dragunov is pretty good at hitting a target, but if they're shooting at you, or they have cover, or they're a long distance away, the Dragunov loses any benefit it would have had, because you need to land 4 shots. The weapon isn't very accurate, the weapon isn't very versatile, and again, you can hit them twice, 3 times, and then they go around a piece of cover. It's nice that you were able to break their armor, but they're likely not going to hold still and let you hit them 4 times in a row. At least with the EBR or the FAL, or even the Oden, you can land those follow-up shots a lot faster, and yeah, you also will likely not get the kill. It's a much more dependable weapon in your hands that isn't dedicated strictly for something it's not very good at. Now, speaking of the Oden is the next gun that I just can't justify using due to its chunky rate of fire, its smaller magazine, its recoil, and dependency on attachments for long-range combat. In order to spec this thing for long-range combat, you have to slow it down to the speed of a sniper rifle or a light machine gun, and you'd be better off running a light machine gun or a sniper rifle compared to this. And also, it takes the same amount of shots to kill as the FAL. That's right, I'm comparing another weapon to the FAL, but the FAL is capable of taking somebody out in 5 shots. Same as the Oden, but it's paceable. You can tap fire people with the FAL, you can't with the Oden. Whoopsie, okay, I'm editing this, and apparently I just said you can't pace shots with the Oden. Okay, that's completely untrue, so scratch that. Of course you can pace your shots with the Oden. The FAL is a little bit more versatile in how you can pace your shots, but in my opinion at least, I have more luck doing that, but obviously you can pace your shots with any gun in the game, so that's just ridiculous what I said there. My bad. You don't have the ammo to deal with multiple people, which is also a problem the Dragunov had. See, here's the thing. In Warzone, in whether Plunder or Battle Royale, if you're taking on 1 person, there's likely 2 more. You should assume that your engagements are going to be against fully armored, full squads. We are not going to pick weapons that are good at picking off non-armored, solo, stationary, slow, stupid opponents. We're going to talk about what you're likely going to run into, what will likely be the challenge you have to overcome, and the Oden doesn't have the damage per second, it does not have the ammo, the accuracy, or versatility, and the amount of attachments you have to use to either speed it up for close range or slow it down for long range force it into a role that another weapon could fit way better. The Oden is the weapon I have the least amount of gameplay with because I just find it to be a bad choice. This next one will be a little bit controversial, and it should be because I'm picking the Kar 98K. Yeah, I better get ready to read the comments on that one, I swear to fucking good. Now, if you guys watched Exclusive Ace's video on Warzone weapons, then you also probably clicked on the link in his description, which I will link his video, and then you can go in the description of his video and click on his chart. Anyway, that chart will show you that the Kar 98K is capable of two-shotting a fully armored opponent. And while that's really great, the Kar 98 is not a fast-firing weapon, and it only has 5 rounds in its stripper clip, and that's not great. Now believe me, I have more to say about weapons in this video than just these are bad and I hate them, so trust me, there is a silver lining to the Kar 98K, and that is its damage, but it requires more accuracy than something like the AX50. You have to land those upper chest and headshots, and if you're going to use a slower weapon that's for hitting people at long distances, then I would recommend the AX50 or the HDR, something that's not going to punish you for missing by those couple of inches, and I can't see a way around that. The Kar 98 is more customizable, but again, you only have 5 rounds in a game mode where people have extra health, people can put more armor back in their plates. Like, the thing is, if you go up against somebody with a Kar 98 and you put 2 shots in them, you break their armor, they crawl around cover, get revived, put on more armor plates that their teammates give them, and they have to come back and fight you. You use 2 of your rounds, and now you have 3. So yeah, you should be reloading, but you don't want to get caught reloading, and a good squad is going to shoot at you for shooting at their buddy. Do you have the ammo and rate of fire to take on multiple people? Probably not, and you're likely going to get overwhelmed. It's great for plinking people off in the distance, but it is not a dependable killing machine. If you're going to use something that fills this role, I'd recommend a lightweight AX50 build, way more than I'd recommend this Kar 98. The last one, and honestly in my opinion the most egregious weapon on this list, is the Scar. I would not recommend the Scar in any scenario. Fight me on it. Look, the beauty of Plunder is that it can be played so many different ways. If you want a slow, boring, methodical game where you only maybe attack people to defend yourself, and you're mostly just completing objectives and driving around, you can do that. If you want to assault people head on and be aggressive and bait people that are trying to deposit their cash, take down the top earners, lay traps for people alongside roads, you can do that. But the Scar, in my opinion, is not good. No matter what style of play you're adopting, it's not worth using. The Scar 17 is going to take 8 shots to kill a fully armored opponent. The Scar's rate of fire is 600, meaning its DPS is 350. The only other weapon that has a 350 DPS is the Grau 556, which is a way more accurate weapon that also allows you to use 60-round magazines. The Scar, at most, allows you to use 30-round magazines, and when you use that 30-round magazine, you start slowing down the weapon. And if you want to build the Scar for longer range with one of the longer barrels, you also start making the weapon feel more like an LMG in terms of its handling traits. And I would recommend running a suppressor on every weapon you play with in Warzone. Staying off of the compass and hiding your vapor trails is very important. Also, your sound signature is really important to hide. I don't recommend using the lightweight suppressor because you lose 25% of your range. That stat also comes from Exclusive Ace's channel. So you want to use tactical or monolithic, which slows down your handling even more. And in Battle Royale or Plunder, you're gonna fight people that are really far away or in the same exact building as you. People that have cover, people that don't have cover, and the Scar just can't handle multiple opponents at range or up close. You need to slow down the weapon in order to give it range and accuracy. You need to slow it down more so that it even has any ammo to actually kill multiple people, because what's the point of using a 20-round assault rifle that needs 8 of those shots just to kill somebody? Also, the 600 RPM rate of fire is going to shorten the margin for error when trying to hit a target. You can't sweep enemies with this, you're not getting one round after the next, it's a lot clunkier, it's a lot slower. Hitting a moving, distant target with the Scar, a weapon with a low rate of fire, a good amount of recoil, and requires 8 shots to take down a fully armored opponent, and at most can have 30 rounds in its magazine, is just not something you should try to put yourself through. Some selective engagements the Scar will be fine. Somebody that only has 2 armor plates and they're right in front of you and they don't have any cover, that's great, but you don't want to pick your weapons for the optimal scenario. You want to pick your weapons for the scenarios that are really going to challenge you, and the Scar is not up for that challenge. When it comes to weapons in Warzone, you need to worry about how much ammo you can have in a magazine. You need to worry about the rate of fire and how much damage per second you're capable of putting out. Then you have to worry about how accurate and easy to control the weapon is, which will affect its long range potential and also just affect overall ease of use. And you also need to worry about the range of engagements. Some of your enemies will be very far away, some of them will be right up close. You want weapons that can take out people that have cover, that have teammates working with them. You don't want a gun that can take out somebody and then needs to reload. You want a gun that can take out somebody and then take out their buddy next to them and damage their buddy next to them. And when it comes to the AK-47, it's better than the SCAR in every way, requiring 2 less shots to kill. 1 less shot to kill with the conversion kit, but the conversion kit has a faster rate of fire and deals over 100 more damage per second than the SCAR. The beauty of Plunder though, and why I like it way more than Battle Royale, is that you can play each match differently, and within each match you can change up your playstyle drastically. Yeah, if you're being aggressive and getting into lots of gunfights, then you're gonna want meta weapons like the M4, like the Kilo, and I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. But you don't have to play that way. You can play conservative, slower roles, and those won't really require you to be in gunfight after gunfight, and that's where you can really get into experimentation. Avoiding the sweaty, hotly contested areas in the game allows you to be less meta, allows you to be less tryhard, allows you to branch out and try new things. That and your mom's house is a sweaty, hotly contested area. Just because a weapon is bad at being optimal doesn't mean it's not worth using or isn't worth trying to make work. At the end of the day, it's a video game and you need to be able to have your own fun, and when a big selling point of a game is customization and variety, I really encourage you to take advantage of it and not just use the same meta weapons and play the same way every time. But if I was going for optimal setups, I couldn't see myself using the Kar 98 or the SCAR or the Oden or the Dragunov. Go ahead and tell me how wrong I am in the comment section below. I'll be happy to read your comments, and let me know your favorite and least favorite weapons to use in the 2 Warzone game modes. So let me know down below. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.